Right guys, Mark Crossfield here. I'm going to show you something today that I work a lot on with my students. I think it's a slightly forgotten art for lots of golfers and through tuition. I'm going to show you how something like GC2 HMT here helps me practice and understand my movements in an actually much more natural way than lots of people give these machines credit for because of their misunderstanding of how to use them well, I always think. This will be an interesting lesson for lots of people. This lesson isn't going to show you how I control the things I control. There's plenty of videos out that I've done that show you, and I'll do more to try and show you how I do control these different elements. But it's going to show you the level of control I've got over, say, delivery in maybe some interesting situations. Let's get stuck in. Right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hit some shots. I've got my driver here, so in theory I've got my hardest club or longest, fastest moving club. I actually find the driver not too hard to do, but I can do this with an iron or a driver. I'm doing it with a driver today just to show you even when I take the club to its longest lever, I can still control it in a certain way. We got GC2 HMT running. Let me just hit a shot. So this would be my kind of standard shot at the moment for the kind of shot I'm trying to hit with a driver. So it's a nice straightest shot, struck pretty good, and my path is 2.8 out to in. So I'm actually starting to move a bit to a cut for my next few rounds of golf to try and experiment with some ideas. So my standard at the moment when I swing in my stock feeling, whatever that feeling may be, is 2.8 out to in. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try and move that path say between 4 and 6 out to in. Now I'm not going to tell you particularly how I do it. I'm not really going to try and change my setup very much at all for this experiment, just to show you the level of control that I kind of can work with or not, because there are easier ways that I could do. I could just aim across the machine and then I'm 4 across, but I'm going to try and stay quite neutral with my setups just to show you the kind of dynamic control that I want to have with my club. So 4 across, between 4 and 6 out to in. Yeah, I reckon that's not far off. There you go, that's 4.2 out to in. So now coming 2 degrees more left than where my standard was. Now I'm going to go, let's try and go 4 into out. So I'm now going to try and hit 4 degrees from in to out rather than the out to in. Was that enough? Yes, 4.5 into out. So I moved that club head as it struck the ball, was moving 4.5 degrees more to the right. I'm now going to try and swing, say it's 0. So I'm going to try and hit 0 path. See if I've got it. 1.2 out to in, so within 1 degree of out to in, which I would be quite happy. That's kind of a tolerance I'd be happy to work within. So very interesting. I'm not really changing anything massively, but I'm moving path to order. Now what I'm going to do, I'm presented on that last one 18 degrees of dynamic loft at the point of impact. That would change subject to where I hit it with other machines, but I'm delivering 18 degrees of loft just at first touch of the ball. I'm now going to try and deliver 10 degrees of dynamic loft. I'm not going to move my ball position, which would be an easy way to do it. I'm going to dynamically try and move it. So 10 degrees dynamic. Not sure if that's not quite down enough. Yeah, 12. So within 2 degrees of it. Not bad first time. I'm now going to try and deliver 20 degrees of dynamic loft. So again, I'm going to start in a very similar place. I'm just going to dynamically try and chuck some different loft at the ball. So going for 20 degrees. That one's nowhere near target, unfortunately. 26. So I presented too much. I'm going to have one more go at that one. It's in the right ballpark, just 6 degrees out is not a tolerance I'd want. I'd want to get close to that 20 degrees of dynamic. And a better shot. 23, so I'll take that. And you can also see from my strikes, the strikes are staying quite constant across the club as well. Now, look, for lots of golfers, what I see And I think videos have a big part to play here, and books and other media, which I'm all part of. So, you know, I'm trying my hardest to make sure you guys always try and learn the best way. I see this kind of stuff a lot. So I see people taking forever getting the correct grip. And they kind of shuffle around making sure they get the correct ball position and the correct width of stance and the correct posture. And then we'll hit the ball with no control or understanding of face to path, upwards, downwards, any of that. The skill that I see in good golfers that they possess is their ability to control the delivery from different situations, different pressure situations that you'll see on telly, different lies, different obstacles in the way, trees and things. They can still deliver the numbers to create the shot they want when they're being pushed and pulled in lots of different ways. Ball below their feet, ball above their feet, downhill lies, uphill lies. You see what I mean? So when it comes to dynamically playing golf, maybe going on a range and trying to always hit the perfect positions, and maybe you're not practicing anything. Because in a round of golf, if you watch any of my course vlogs and things like that, you'll notice that, right, I say, Matt, what are you doing on this one? He says, oh, I'm going to hit a hard 7, but I'm going to knock it down a little bit. So what he's actually saying is he's going to try and deliver some different dynamic loft. He might then create a different path and face to path relationship, which he would know, even if he couldn't tell you the numbers, he'll know from what kind of shots he creates when he tries to knock it down, maybe more drawy or not, subject to how he does it. So he's using his delivery database that he's built up in his head through practicing shots, hitting them low, hitting them high, hitting cuts, hitting draws, hitting it hard, hitting it soft, to play golf. Do you see what I mean? So actually with the launch monitor, which makes lots of people think, oh, it's too technical, it's just maths, you know, it's not feeling. Actually, no, it's the complete opposite. I find with launch monitors, and when I use them to teach, which I do always, I'm giving students even less kind of feelings in their swing. It's becoming much more natural in the way that I ask them to make a movement. Just feel that you swing more left. Just feel that you swing more right. It's those kind of sentences, rather than saying, I want you to get exactly into X position, which could deliver any one of those numbers. Watch this. I'm going to try, so this is harder. So I'm going to try and now deliver 0, but I'm not going to have a very good stance. So 0 is what I'm going to go for. So harder to hit the ball from there. And I delivered 0.9, 0. I'm now going to try and deliver 4 across from what I would call not a textbook stance. 4 across. 5.6 to the left. I'm now going to try and hit 4 from the inside. Two degrees from the inside, so not as close to tolerance, but the right ballpark. So look, I'm not saying don't work on your setups, don't work on your grips. What I'm kind of saying here is you need to be having some level of club delivery. So down, up, left, right, face the path, dynamic loft. You need to have some kind of understanding of how to manipulate them to really enter the game. Just hoping that your posture and your grip and your stance is going to fix all that, or that if you just bump your hip across the start of downswing, it's all fixed. If I'm someone who puts a twist into the backswing via a grip or via a wrist movement, and I'm working on just bumping my hips across because I think that's going to fix everything. Well, if you don't deal with the twist or understand that it's even there, the bumping the hips, starting a downswing from the ground up and the hips first, all those kind of tips and what have you that I've done and we've all done, aren't going to help you at all. You've got to have a certain level of understanding of delivery. Now, look, that doesn't mean you need to understand what numbers you have. What I notice for students is that, let's say they come into a lesson and they're singing 10 across, but they think that's 0. So their natural swing is to swing 10 to the left, but they think they're swinging straight. This game is impossible for them because their understanding of reality of 0 is 10 degrees out. So when you try to get them to hit massively from the inside and do something to make the path move more to the right, they go massively more from the inside. Well, they're 10 left, which they think 0, so then they start being only 2 left. Do you see what I mean? So it shows you how position-based ideas might not help that person, where general ideas of swing more to the right might bring them back to a more desirable number. Look guys, post comments down below. I'd love to hear what you think. I know lots of people want videos where we give, or I give you definites. You've got to do this if you want to play better golf. For me, the main definite from this today is that if you want to control your golf ball more, you need to control your delivery more. You can work on your setup as long as it improves those numbers in the way you want them to be improved, as well as you can work on trying to hit a variation of shots. I say to all my students, look, let's say we're working on moving, let's say I'm trying to get them to put more pressure onto their left foot as they come down and through, maybe even open up their hips a bit more. I say to them, I want you to hit some shots where you put in your practice sessions loads of pressure in your mind on your left foot with loads of rotation, and start building that database up of what kind of shots you're hitting. So when you're on a course and you feel like you put lots of pressure onto your left foot and you put loads of rotation in, it gives you a gentle cut. Well, as soon as there's trouble up the left, I'll be using that feeling, I'll be using that thought, built around some measured numbers and data, to get around that course, to never take on that out of bounds. And I do that when I play. I'll have certain thoughts that will create certain shots, and they're not my standard stand on a range and just hit a good shot. I'm going to stand on a range and practice hitting many different shots, as well as my standard neutral good shot, if you like. Post comments, love to hear. It's more of a general chat, this one, but it's a general chat I seem to be having with lots of students at the moment, which is why I'm having it with you now and sharing it. Next time you go to the range, try not practicing the right thing for the whole session. Try practicing some wrong things. Try practicing some grips that are more twisted and less and see what results you get. Try practicing some twisted grips more than others while trying to create different shapes, and challenge your understanding of your setup in relationship to your delivery, in relationship to the product that is produced. The amount of lessons I get that come in and say, I hit my driver high, and they think they hit their driver high. I am instantly thinking, well, they're obviously presenting too much loft, could be hitting up on the ball, or they're hitting it off the top of the club. Do you see what I mean? I'm instantly thinking of delivery, where they're just thinking, I'm one of those golfers who just hit the ball high, because they're not thinking of that delivery. Post comments, let me know what you think. I'd be really interested. Thanks for watching. I hope that helps in some ways. I think some interesting points maybe to help you practice and really try to develop your game in a way that will get you around the course in lower shots. Thanks for watching. So if you like what's going on here, don't be afraid to subscribe to the channel. Also thumbs up the video, post comments, love to hear what you guys got to say. Let's keep it social. The more we talk, the more we share, the easier this game will get for everybody. So if you want to find me on Facebook here, you can find me on Facebook. If you want to tweet me, find me on Twitter here as well. Just follow the links, all in the description. Come and join the show, get active, get involved, get playing some better golf. Thanks for watching.